What is up, everybody? Ken here from Mid-Level Media, and I want to do a little bit of a fun type of video here today, a little bit of a speculation video here today. I want to talk about some movies, some 90s comedies in particular that don't have Blu-ray releases and need Blu-ray releases. So we're going to talk about these movies. We're going to talk about the studios that own them and just the possibility of these movies even being able to be put out on Blu-ray, and also some that I think need that boutique level treatment as well. But before we get into talking about these movies, and again, I'm just appalled these movies don't have Blu-rays. I'm going to get pretty passionate in this video right here. But before we get into it, I have to ask, do you like Blu-rays? Do you like 4Ks? Do you like owning the movies that you love? All this physical media stuff behind me. If the answer to all those questions is yes, hit the subscribe button. We do tons of physical media related content on this channel every single day. We do Blu-ray 4K reviews, Blu-ray hunting videos, news updates, unboxings, collection updates, just tons of physical media content every single day on this channel. And I definitely encourage you to hit the subscribe button. Also like this video for me, guys. Just hit that like button. It just takes a second and it really helps out the video. So please hit the like button. Also comment down below, guys. We're going to talk about 8 movies here today. We're going to talk about 8 90s comedies, and I chose 90s comedies because it's a sweet spot for me. It's a nice, it just feels like home. This is a period of my life from my childhood. These are just movies that I loved growing up, and I just love 90s comedies. I'm just super nostalgic for them. Yeah, we're going to talk about 8 90s comedies, and what I want you guys to do is comment down below. Get the juices flowing, get the ideas going here. Or what are some movies that from your childhood that you would like to receive the Blu-ray treatment that haven't yet? Let me know that in the comment section below. Do some deep cuts. Let's get deep, because I've got some stuff right here that maybe not a lot of people would say or even think of, and you're probably not even going to agree with me on some of these, but I want some deep cuts. I want some stuff that you haven't thought about in 20 years, that nobody's thought about in 25 years. Not the stuff that everybody talks about every single day. I've certainly got a couple of those as well, but I want some deep cuts here today. But look, let's get into it. We got to talk about these movies. The first one that I want to talk about is Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. This is ridiculous. I got a DVD. Thank you to a subscriber that sent this to me. Lapke Vision Films sent this DVD to me, and I very much appreciate it because I missed out on it when I saw it in a bin a long time ago. Because I saw it in the bin, I was like, I'm not going to pick up the DVD. I'll get the Blu-ray at some point. I looked up the Blu-ray, and it's not there. It didn't have a Blu-ray, and I was like, what the hell? Why does this movie not have a Blu-ray? This is one of the greatest dark comedies of the 90s, 1991, starring Christina Applegate. You got David Duchovny in this movie. The dishes are done, man. It's iconic. I love Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It was just one of my favorite movies growing up. It's just such a fun teen coming of age film. There's a lot of layers in this movie. These kids go on a journey, and I was here for it the whole time. It's such a good story that develops in surprising ways. Like, it's not just the kids goofing off the whole time like it is in the first 15 to 20 minutes. But then it just develops, and you start to really get into these characters. And I just love this movie. I just love it. And the fact that it doesn't have a Blu-ray release is ridiculous to me. Now, on this release, it says it was distributed by HBO. But this was a Warner Brothers release when it came out. So I have to imagine that Warner Brothers would put this out on Blu-ray. But what I really want is a super duper boutique release. Am I going to get it? Probably not. But Vinegar Syndrome, you did Drop Dead Fred. Can you not do Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead? What would it cost to get the rights? I know you guys like, getting your 70s, 80s horror movies that nobody's ever heard of for like 10 cents. But why don't you go after Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead? Why don't you add some quality to your catalog, but also, shout factor. If you want to do it as well and do just as good of a job on this as you did Liar Liar, add some cool special features. Keith Coogan's pretty active in the community for this movie. Christina Applegate would come back and do an interview. I know she would. It would be fantastic. We need something though. Like this isn't enough. This is just crap. This is just crap and way beneath what this movie deserves. But Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, guys. We need to get that on Blu-ray. We need to get that on Blu-ray. But look, what we really need on Blu-ray, again, we need Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, but we need some more Bill Murray on Blu-ray. Like, why is What About Bob not on Blu-ray? Like, come on. What About Bob? Again, this DVD was sent to me by a subscriber, Lapkey Vision Films. Thank you so much, man. I'm calling you out a lot in this video, but why do we not have What About Bob? This movie is so fantastic. I love this movie growing up. Admittedly, I've not seen this movie in probably 15 years, but I loved it so much. Just the culmination and what happens, just the insanity of what Richard Dreyfuss has to go through in this movie, and just his performance is so great. But yeah, Richard Dreyfuss, you got Bill Murray, like that is the match made in heaven. This movie is so funny. It's so timeless, and it so needs a Blu-ray release. Why does it not have one? I'll tell you why. There's going to be a theme going through this video. So Touchstone put this out, and Disney is the owner of Touchstone. So that might explain why this doesn't have a Blu-ray release yet. Because as bad as Disney is about putting their catalog stuff out on 4K, they're just as bad as not putting their catalog stuff out on Blu-ray as well. And we'll see that more as we go. There's a theme here to this video, Disney. Come on now. But again, I would love a super duper Shout Factory box set. Arrow Video, get on it. Do What About Bob? Why can't you do What About Bob? Vinegar Syndrome, I don't care who does it. Criterion can do a 4K of this. It deserves it. It freaking deserves it. But What About Bob? Come on, guys. Come on. We need that on Blu-ray. We need it on Blu-ray. Okay, so I don't have physical representations of everything that I'm going to talk about, but I have got to talk about Encino Man. Encino Man does not have a Blu-ray, and that is pitiful to me. This is, again, we'll have some more Pauly Shore on this list that doesn't have Blu-ray. They don't have any respect for Pauly Shore. They did Eric's Revenge of the Mall. What was that movie called? The Mall movie that Arrow Video did, but that had Pauly Shore. That's like the only Pauly Shore movie that's on Blu-ray. But Encino Man. Encino Man has Sean Astin, Sam from Lord of the Rings. It's got Brendan Fraser. It's got Pauly Shore. It's got Robin Tooney in it from The Craft, which just got a 4K as well. Encino Man, like that, again, Wheeze the Juice.
We figure we's a little juice.
You know, these movies just, my eyes literally light up when I talk about them, because I just remember my childhood and watching these films. But Encino Man is one of the greatest, like, coming of age high school movies of all time. You know, they bring, they find a caveman frozen in ice. It's Brendan Fraser. They thaw him out, and, you know, he's a fish, the fish out of water scenario. They dress him up as a high schooler, and hilarity ensues. This movie is great. It's timeless. I love this movie. Why does Encino Man not have a Blu-ray? I don't know, but it needs one. Oh, I know, because it's owned by Disney. So Disney has this Buena Vista release this one. Buena Vista. It's a little bit late right now, guys. I'm probably saying this wrong, but Disney owns Encino Man. Again, this is going to be a theme running throughout this video, but please, guys, put out Encino Man. Please, I am begging you. Again, Shout Factory, Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow Video, Criterion. A Criterion release of Encino Man would kill. It would absolutely murder. Everybody would buy Encino Man. Tell me I'm wrong in the comment section below. Would you not buy Encino Man? If anybody would not buy Encino Man on Blu-ray, let me know in the comment section below right now. I'm begging you. Let me know. But look, we got to talk about Nothing to Lose. Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins does not have a Blu-ray release. Absolutely needs one. This is one of the best crime comedies, buddy cop kind of, but they're not, really cops, but it's kind of in that same vein. Tim Robbins comes home, finds his wife's cheating on him. He gets into a little bit too deep with Martin Lawrence, and again, hilarity ensues. I love this movie. I used to watch this one over and over and over again. Absolutely love Nothing to Lose. Came out in 1997, but again, going with a theme, guys, Disney owns this movie, hence why it doesn't have a Blu-ray release yet, but we absolutely need a Blu-ray release for Nothing to Lose. But guys, look, sometimes when I'm on camera like this, I get real nervous, and sometimes I put my hands in my armpits like this, and then I smell them like that. Superstar, guys, come on. We need Superstar on Blu-ray. We just got Night at the Roxbury. This is owned by Paramount, so Paramount's been doing a great job, an admirable job of putting out their catalog titles on Blu-ray. They've really been doing a great job of doing that. So I have to think that at some point, probably in the near future, we will get Superstar on Blu-ray. I think that that one's probably the most likely of all the ones that we're going to talk about here to get a Blu-ray release like within the next year or two, because Paramount's been pumping out these catalog titles on Blu-ray. They've been doing a great job of it. So Superstar, 1999. I love this movie. It's a great comedy. It's really stupid and silly. It's one of Will Ferrell's earliest comedies. Again, he did this one, Night at the Roxbury, around the same time. Molly Shannon's in this movie. Of course, she's the lead in the film. Great movie, super funny. I love this movie growing up. I actually do think I have that on DVD back there somewhere, but I didn't pull it up here to the table. But yeah, this one, I think of everyone, again, Paramount's been doing a great job putting out their catalog releases. I think that Superstar will absolutely get at some point. But again, we got to talk about more Pauly Shore here. Son-in-Law. This is the top two Pauly Shore movies for me. Our Son-in-Law and Encino Man. I love these movies. I watched them over and over again. I like In the Army Now. I like, Biodome and all that stuff. But Son-in-Law and Encino Man were always where it was for me with the Pauly Shore movies. Love those movies. And Son-in-Law does not have a Blu-ray, guys. Came out in 1993. And guess who owns Son-in-Law? Disney. Buena Vista came out with Son-in-Law back in 1993. So this is a great movie. I love Son-in-Law. Again, just the classic, bringing home the troublemaking boyfriend, the college girl played by Carla Giannacchino. Is that her name? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Carla All right, last time. Carla Gugino, and that's probably wrong as well, is in this as the girl. And man, is she looks great in this movie. I'll say that. She still looks great. Like Gerald's Game, she was in that. She's had kind of a resurgence because she was in Haunting of Hill House as well, working with Mike Flanagan. But she's great in this movie. I love everybody in this movie. Pauly Shore is great. Just plays this part of this kind of rebellious college, party boy that the nice girl brings home to meet her parents. And of course, they don't like him because he looks like a punk. He looks like a punk, so they don't like him. So again, hilarity ensues. I love this movie. Son-in-Law is absolutely fantastic. It needs a Blu-ray release, but again, owned by Disney. So fingers crossed at some point Disney lets somebody else handle all of these movies. But I also want to talk about Four Rooms. I think that Quentin Tarantino, he either wrote the entire thing. He did not direct this movie. A lot of people think that Quentin Tarantino directed Four Rooms. He did not. There was 4 different directors. Actually, I think he did. He directed one of them. I think he directed the final one, which was called Mr. Hollywood, I think. Robert Rodriguez directed one, and I don't know who directed the other ones. But Four Rooms came out in 1995. It's a fun little anthology film, kind of anthology, dark comedy mixed with a little bit of horror. There's some horror elements in there as well. But I remember loving this movie as a kid. Quentin Tarantino's in this movie. He's in the last one. And it's just a really fun anthology film that I don't feel like I've really heard anything about or anybody really talking about since I was a kid. So yeah, Four Rooms absolutely needs a Blu-ray release. So this was put out by Miramax back in the 90s, which, Disney owned in the 90s and they sold it off. And now it's in Paramount's hands eventually. But I know there's issues with Miramax and the Weinsteins and that whole situation. That's why you can't get a lot of the Kevin Smith films on Blu-ray and stuff like that. So I don't know what the situation there is, but hopefully they can get it settled and we can get Four Rooms on Blu-ray at some point. Again, super fun movie. It's got Antonio Banderas in it as well. And I just remember enjoying watching it when I was a kid. But Four Rooms needs a Blu-ray release. I could see this one for sure getting like a Shout Factory release or even Arrow Video. Again, they did Mallrats, so I don't know. That's kind of in the same ballpark. But yeah, Four Rooms is fantastic. Now, let's get into my last pick. So this one might surprise some of you, but when I was a kid, I was a pretty big Whoopi Goldberg fan. I watched a lot of Whoopi Goldberg movies. I remember, the Sister Act movies were pretty big for me. I used to watch those all the time. And this was another one that I watched all the time. It's not Kangaroo Jack. I don't even know if that has Blu-ray release or not. But this is Eddie. And this is from 1996, the film where the New York Knicks fan, you know, played by Whoopi Goldberg, is called down there to make a shot. And if she makes the shot, she gets to coach the team. I don't remember the situation, but it was some kind of challenge. She made this shot. It was some kind of impossible shot that she just made out of nowhere. And then she's all of a sudden coaching the New York Knicks. And, you know, obviously she's in way over her head because she doesn't have any coaching experience. But I remember loving this movie. I'm not a big sports fan at all. I'm not a big fan of basketball, football, none of that stuff. But I love sports movies, and I grew up watching a lot of these fun sports movies like Eddie and, you know, Angels in the Outfield and Rookie of the Year. There's just a lot of sports movies that I loved growing up, and Eddie was one of those. And again, I feel like it's one that nobody talks about. Like, nobody talks about this movie at all, but I love it. And it doesn't have a Blu-ray release. But again, owned by Disney, and Buena Vista put this one out. So who knows when we're going to see it. So what's the count here, guys, on the Disney stuff? So we did have, 5 of these titles that I went over are owned by Disney. So they would have to put these out. So I guess fingers crossed and good luck. We'll probably never see them. But you know what? I just think it's important to talk about some of these lesser known films that not a lot of people really talk about. Everybody's talking about what they want to come out to 4K. Not that many people are talking about what they want to come out to Blu-ray. And I think it's really important because if we don't start championing some of these films that we want to come out and want to advance formats, they're going to get lost in time. They're going to get lost in time as we go. There's already a bunch that got lost in the VHS era that aren't being put out. Again, there's companies like Kino Lorber, like Warner Archive, like are just doing fantastic work. Paramount's doing a great job as well, and trying to bring this stuff back. It's really just Disney that's dropping the ball here on a lot of this stuff. But it's just important to talk about this stuff and to get the conversation going, because I'm afraid with some of these movies, like, it's going to be 40 years from now, and we're not going to have any kind of advanced format other than DVD or VHS. And everybody's just like, remember that movie when I was a kid? I haven't seen that in 50 years, you know, because they never came out with any physical version of it. It's not on streaming. It just got lost and people forgot about it. And I don't want that to happen to some of these movies, especially the movies that I grew up loving. So that's the video, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, listening to me ramble on for 15, 20 minutes. I don't know how long this video is going to be with editing and stuff, but I appreciate everybody watching. Just a casual video, just a fun video. And again, let me know in the comment section below, what are some movies that you don't want to be lost in time that you want to come out in Blu-ray or DVD even? Is there some VHSs that haven't come to DVD? Let me know in the comment section below. Obviously, tons of stuff that people want to come to 4K. We talk about 4K all the time. That's usually the focus. I wanted to talk about Blu-ray here today, but hit the subscribe button, guys, if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are in the description, and turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.